Hi, Darlene.
Hello.
Go live in Facebook. I have that all set up. There we go. All righty. If everybody can go ahead and mute and make yourself off video until we get to you. All righty. So that will. All righty. Good morning to everyone. Good Saturday morning. Hope it's a good shopping day for you. We are very excited to be here with some more of our vendors. A few housekeeping items. Just remember that most of the live stage things that happen like this, if you go back to the main stage button in AromaSharingOnline.com, you can see replays. There'll be the green color when there's a link there to watch the replay. You can also watch it on our AromaSharing Facebook page, not our big group, but our public page. And also remember there are vendors that have a Zoom room, and the Zoom room has capability for you to go in and talk to your vendor just like you were there. All righty. So that is a really good way to almost be in person, but not quite. And the vendors would love to speak with you. So check on that. It says vendors with live Zoom right at the top on the menu in AromaSharingOnline.com. All righty. Let us go ahead and get started. We are going to start with Tiffany Ewing. And she is a first-time vendor with us this year. So, hi, Tiffany. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. So good to have you on today. So how did you find out about AromaSharing?
I found out years ago when we went to convention in person. And I shopped the ballroom and I loved it. I bought so many tools for my business and found so many great gifts. And I've just been shopping ever since.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. We love when our shoppers join us as vendors. That's wonderful. Alrighty, and tell us what you sell and how your business came to be. How did you start into your business?
Sure. I'm actually a naturopath. So it wasn't like intuitively obvious that I would be selling a makeup course. But when Young Living launched their makeup course, like their the Savvy line, the makeup, I was like, I have to learn how to wear this. All my clients were asking me questions, and like my mom and my upline did not teach me how to wear makeup. So I went and researched it, and then I started, wearing it, and everyone was asking, "Where did you learn these skills? Oh my goodness, you look like a supermodel. Please teach me." So I started teaching people, and it just got overwhelming. And I developed a course, which actually my sponsor ended up taking and loving. So that's the course I put together. It's on Facebook.
Wonderful. So you saw a need and you
Yes.
filled that need.
Yeah. So it's definitely not what they teach at beauty school. It's, more of a like, here's what your mom didn't teach you about makeup. So like in a single evening, like you can go from no skills or maybe poor skills to having the techniques to really feel confident, which whatever line of business you're in is helpful, whether you sell Young Living or you're a customer and do something else. So literally I went from being like somebody who didn't wear makeup to someone who like was so excited because I actually feel pretty every day now.
Wow. Well, I'll be back, guys. I'm gonna go take care. Yeah, you see my makeup. I put on lipstick and under eye cover. That's all I ever do because this is like I do. If I really want a full face of makeup, I make my children. I have daughters, in their 20s daughters, and even when they were teenagers, I got to go somewhere nice, come do my makeup. So I'm excited for this. This is a wonderful service. And it's just, there is something about just feeling so finished that gives you some confidence. So excellent. So what did you contribute to our auction?
I contributed one of my 2 courses. So the 2 courses are like the basic, one's called 5 Minutes to Fabulous. That's the one on the auction. It's kind of like the basics for anybody to look polished and to do it quickly. So you can get out the door and you can look natural and great. And so it's a 30-minute course. It's located on Facebook. You can pause it, rewind it, replay it as much as you want. But also I'm going to do a live Q&A in July to answer all your questions too.
Oh, wonderful.
So like if there's anything that you're like, I don't know, this isn't in there or it's not clear. First of all, this is the second go round. So we've worked out pretty much any kinks there are, but also you'll be able to get your questions answered. So this will be a good time.
Alrighty, I'm going to put in our bit.ly link to our auction in the comments. There we go. Nope, it's not just to panelists. I want it to everyone. Come on. Okay, let me do that again. I don't know why it always just says to panelists. I want to talk to everyone. I'm the host. Why can't I talk to everyone? You have to go click on them. There we go. Alrighty, good. So that is our that's our short link to our site so that people can go bid on that. That helps our student. We got a brand new student. So we're excited. And for anyone who was on and saw the foundation thing yesterday and she couldn't get the video to work, that is now an announcement video in our big AromaSharing group from our student that we've had for 2 years now, Jordan Baque. And so I'm really excited to see that. So our foundation, we love our vendors because our vendors are so very generous on our auction. So thank you, Tiffany. So tell us again your name, the name of your business, and what category you're in AromaSharing.
Okay, my name is Tiffany Ewing. It's listed in the techniques category of AromaSharing. My business's official name is Vibrant Life, but the picture is, of me and makeup. So it's real easy to find. There's only 3 people in that category.
Yay, get to stand out.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany. And thank you for being a first year vendor and for feeling a need, because there's a lot of people like me who are not makeup people. If I can do it in 5 minutes, I would do it.
Thanks, Kathleen.
All right. Thank you, Tiffany, so much. All righty. Jennifer Barnes, you are next. If you can unmute and get your video on. There you are. Okay, go ahead and speak.
Hi, how are you this morning?
I'll get you front and center. All righty. Hi, how are you?
Good.
All righty. I'm doing good this morning. So how did you find out about AromaSharing?
I have never been to AromaSharing in person. I found out about it about 2 years ago when some of my teammates went out to convention, and we were finally going to go to convention last year, but with everything that happened, we didn't. So I've just been following the site and shopping online and watching the vendors that way.
Oh, good. So is this your first year?
Yes.
To be a vendor, right? Good. So I know last year was so disappointing for all of us, everyone. We're so used to meeting in that oily, 30,000 people, oily people all together is an amazing energy. So we're trying to recreate a little bit of that here, give our vendors a venue. So what do you sell and how did your business come to be?
My site is called My Oil Library. And when I started getting into oils, I just collected all the recipes that I could. And then I found that every time I was looking for something, I was like, I know I've made that, but now I can't find the recipe card anymore because I had recipes everywhere. I had books and cards and articles. And I went online to look at some of the recipe websites and everything was geared towards food. So I made my own site to store recipes online because I figured if I needed to get my stuff organized, other people would need to get their recipes organized too.
Oh, wonderful. I'm just thinking that would be really good because I have pieces of paper hanging everywhere. I'm a sticky note girl, so I have sticky notes that I don't even have any sticky anymore hanging around because I have that recipe for that pumpkin spice, or so understandable. Well, what I just love how our creative people are and coming up with solutions to challenges. So, all righty. What did you contribute to our auction? You have a very generous contribution to the auction.
I put in 3 teen packs because they're 10 memberships for a year to my site. I shared my site first with some of the people on my team because I thought it was really neat that when I had a friend that was getting into oils, I could just be like, here, try out my site, because these are a lot of the recipes that I've collected and I really love. So it kind of gave them a starting point of where to look and say, okay, this is something that I can use that oil for. So the donation that I put in was a 10 pack so that people could join the site and share it with some of their friends to help spread the oily recipes.
Spread the oily love with their that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, and thank you for filling another challenging need in our Young Living community.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Tell us your name, your business name, and your category again.
It's My Oil Library, and I'm under the apps and websites category.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
I have you. So this is the day of our some of our first time vendors being with us. So thank you so much, and
thank you.
Hopefully in person next year we'll get
yes. Hopefully.
All righty, perfect. All right, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
All right. Now we go from 2 first-timers to one of our oldest vendors. She was not there at the beginning, but she was there on the second year, and that is Katie Scartazzini. Let's get her up. Can you unmute? And there you go. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
There you are. Hi, how are you?
Good. It's so good to be here. I feel so grateful and blessed.
I know. I am just so happy to have you. So, met Katie in 2012. And she has been with us almost every year since.
Yeah, but I think before 2012, you and I and some other ladies were selling our stuff in the hallways of Salt Lake Palace. And then we got kicked out.
Yes. And so I showed this yesterday. This is what I had that my daughter made, little bookmarks, if you look. So it's just a little picture of an oil and then a, got it, there we go. And a little embroidery floss twisty that was the same color as the oil. And, you just felt like you were doing a drug deal because you were like, I got
exactly.
Don't let anyone see. So yes. And that's how AromaSharing came to be.
Exactly. That's out of a need. We needed a place to go, and then we started a Shiloh Inn. And the first year that I went there was 2012. 2011, I wasn't there because I had lost Greg. And 2012, I went to see you on. What year did you start at the Shiloh Inn?
We did Shiloh at 2010. 2011 was in Florida, and I did not go to that because I was a midwife student at the time. So 2012, we started at the Hilton in half of the Alpine room. And it was crazy then, and we just kept growing bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride.
So anyways, but I have you down as being there in 2012 because I have all my paper sheets that I used to and if Sandra hadn't joined me, I'd still be doing it on paper. She's the one that has computerized it all for me.
Yeah, so I think the one I missed was 2010. I didn't have your contact to be a vendor, but I visited. I went to Shiloh Inn to participate. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that became crazy. That's a whole nother story in and of itself. So, okay, tell us what you sell and how your business came to be. How did you start doing what you do for AromaSharing?
I started when I came to, from Brazil, originally from Brazil. When I came from Brazil, I had my training as a massage therapist, shiatsu acupuncture. So I took a aromatherapy class in Rio, and my teacher sold the necklaces that I ended up selling in America. So when I brought them to United States in 2005, I was the only one selling necklaces for aromatherapy. There were some little things made in China, but nothing like today. So I started to bring the necklaces, and in the beginning they were very, very simple, just like a plain string with a ceramic piece and cotton inside. And then, you know, in America, we are nobody without a little bit of a bling. So I started to put beads on them. And then it grew, and I ended up being a supplier to Young Living for 7 years. I sold the necklaces to Young Living up to the point that the lava bead came in, and it was from China. I had no way to compete with them because my product is made by artists in Brazil. And also, Young Living grew so fast after 2014 that we had, and I think the last year I supplied Young Living with the necklaces was 2015, 16. And nowadays, even if I wanted to supply Young Living with my necklaces, I can't, because the people in Brazil don't have the capacity to supply everything that Young Living is asking for minimum order, which is around 30,000 items.
Wow. A lot of artisans needed to do that, right?
Yeah, so I cannot supply them anymore, but I have the online store. And you know my story. In the meantime, Greg passed away, and I was devastated, and it's been like 10 years of grieving. So I let my business down, and a lot of customers received their products late. But now I'm back.
Well, good. Yes, yes. And
now I'm making them in silk. I haven't worked with chains and metal yet because my training in acupuncture and shiatsu, we learned that chains hold a lot of energy. That's why you feel like taking out at the end of the day. And I prefer silk and cotton wax because of that freedom that people barely feel like they are wearing a necklace. So.
Oh, that is wonderful. And just to can you show one kind of up close? What they are is they look like little tiny miniature pots, and they're hollow inside.
Yeah, they have
you put cotton
here. They have, this is like a heart shape. I'm gonna put my hand in the background, and there is a little hole here where you put a tiny ball of cotton. Can you see?
Yes, very good.
And then you put a drop of oil there. Actually, I'm going to put highest potential. That is in front of me. I think it's at the end. It's not coming up. So you put a drop of oil there, and then the advantage is that it doesn't get soaked or, you know, by oils as you put the oil in the cotton. So you can change the cotton and change the oil. Of course, you're going to use orange after lemon. You don't need to change the cotton. But if you're going to use precious oils like rose or neroli, they're more expensive, melissa, then I recommend to changing the cotton. And it's an open diffuser, so you are smelling the oil all the time. And it doesn't get in contact with your skin, so you can wear citrus oils and go to the sun and not get you know, because citrus oils are photosensitive.
Right.
So yeah, those are my necklaces, and you know, been selling them now. I'm making them in silk and with a lot of beads, and then you can play with the beads because you can wear a scarf where the ends come to the front and or loose in the back, like here. I had something. You can use the in summer the ends in the back like this, so it adds a different touch.
Oh, very nice. And what did you contribute to our auction?
So yes, I'm contributing with 3 of the necklaces, and I'm going to let them choose of the silk necklaces that are my newest jewel. I love them. So
Yes, they're very beautiful. And what is your business name and what category are you in?
I'm in jewelry category, and my business name is Art Personal Diffusers.
All righty. Well, thank you so, so much for being here. One of our old timers.
Yes, a Jurassic one.
Oh, but thank you so much for being with
Thank you, Kathaleen. Thank you, Sandra.
us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty, Kathy Roden. Let's get you up here and let's talk about,
Kathleen.
hey, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. Well, let's go right in. How did you hear about AromaSharing?
You know, I heard about AromaSharing attending a convention. Somebody must have asked me, are you going over to AromaSharing? And I said, I don't even know what that is. And so, of course, you find out really easy because you see the swarms of people.
Right.
And so I shopped AromaSharing before I was ever a vendor at AromaSharing.
Oh, wonderful. Another shopper turned vendor. We love it. So, and your first year was 2019, is that
Yep,
right?
it was 2019 and it
Yep,
was
in the
quite
book
a year.
corner, right?
I was signed up just to do the book corner, and I don't know if you remember this, but you called me. I was actually on my way to Dallas, no, to Utah.
Okay.
What am I saying Dallas for? Because I was just there probably. So I was on my way to Utah, and I believe it was you that called me and said, we had a booth open up. Do you want it? And I was like, I don't know. And you know, I tell people to live fearless and free. So I said yes. And then I'm not sure I have enough books. And so, but it all turned out really great. You know, God works in mysterious ways, and it was fabulous. Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of AromaSharing and also calling me and opening up that booth to me. It was really, really, I'm really grateful.
Well, I think, didn't you say you had to speak with your husband and you hung up and then you called me back and said, yes.
I did. No, I wanted to be sure that he was okay with it too, because actually he was my helper. And so then that would enlist him, you know, to 2 full days of AromaSharing. And so he was great. And we loved being there. It was so fun to see people face to face, to get hugs. And, you know, a lot of people like to have an author sign their book. But one of the things that, as I was driving to the event the second morning, I just kind of felt impressed, probably the Lord speaking to me, and he just said, have people sign your book too. And so I have my own book, and I have signatures all over it from people that bought that first year, and it's just a treasure to me.
Oh, that's wonderful. All you authors, that's a good idea. How wonderful. So I'm just gonna tell a quick story. I'm a big Josh Groban fan, but did you know that when, you know, his big break was when, oh, mine slipped me, the Italian singer, blind singer, anyways, when he was supposed to sing with Celine Dion and he got sick. And so they needed someone to stand in at least during rehearsals. And David Foster, who was Josh Groban's agent, called him and said, Josh, you need to go. Celine Dion needs someone to stand in for Andre Bocelli. And he said, oh my gosh, no. You know, I'm a 19-year-old kid. That is, no. And all this, and about an hour later, I think it was, David Foster called back and says, get your butt down there. You're doing this. So we get presented with opportunities and we think this is too big for me. But you know what? I think when those opportunities come, they wouldn't come if we were not ready.
You're right. And it was such an open door. And so
I'm
when there's
so
an open door, you got to go.
That you were intrepid and fearless and took that. All righty. So
I want to tell you a story about that too. Just at the end of the second day, I had only ordered 275 books. I wasn't sure what I was going to sell. And at the end of the second day, I think it was actually even just a few minutes past time, I said to my husband, I only have 5 books left. And it was incredible. And then a woman walked up to the table and she goes, I would like to buy 5 books. It was just like gone. They were all gone. It was just so great.
No,
And, it isn't so that people that bought my book, it's that people are going to get to know and understand that oils help our emotions. And that's how I discovered it. So
wonderful. Well, tell us what you sell and how your business started.
So I sell this book called Reboot, and I wrote it because I felt there was a need or kind of a niche for using oils for emotions. Some of the oils that I have listed in this book, in this protocol, come from the Feelings Kit. And in this book, it's 14 oils that you use. But I basically needed it myself. I'm a child of a traumatic childhood. There was violence in my home. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober 40 years. Coming June 21, I will be sober 40 years. Praise God. And I'm a believer. And so there's one of the things that makes my book a little different than others is there's about 100 biblical scriptures in it. And so I just felt there was a niche for believers to be able to use oils, feel comfortable with the language that's used, and then share it with their friends and family.
Oh, wonderful. And what did you contribute to the auction?
So what I contributed
Whoa. You're muted. Did something happen to your, we can't hear you.
There we go. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I don't know. It must be like technology little things around here. So 2 books, you'll get 2 books. You will also get 2 bookmarks. This has just the quick protocol front and back on a laminated bookmark. And you can see I'm wearing a Reboot bracelet. And so you'll actually get in each bundle 2 of each so that you can do it with a friend, a spouse, a significant other, or just give it to someone, the extra one.
All righty. Thank you so very much. And tell us again your name, your business name, and your category.
Well, sure. I'm Kathaleen Rodine, and I'm in the books category. Look for Reboot, Release Emotions.
All righty. Thank you so much. I think at this time we all need some emotional help after last year. So, all righty. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. All righty. Abigail, it's your turn next. Can you unmute and?
Yep, there I am.
There you go. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Kathleen. I'm wonderful. I'm so grateful to be able to do this morning.
Abigail has been with us for a while. I had my little list here.
This is my 4th year.
Right. So good. We're so glad to have you back and back. How did you find out about AromaSharing?
Well, I had decided that I was going to go to convention, and I had made these cards, and then one of my friends said, well, you should look into the AromaSharing and maybe you could take your cards and have a booth. And so I did, and I applied, and you guys all accepted me. And so there I was, trundling off to Utah with my cards and my booth, and it was incredible. I'd never done anything like that before in my life. I was alone. And your husband was a saint because he would even just watch my booth so I could go to the bathroom. I had no idea what an incredible experience it was going to be.
Oh, I tell people, you do not understand how oilers are about their stuff. They're pretty committed and a little crazy in a good way. And, it's just, oilers are just amazing group of different people.
So I totally agree. Yeah, it was. So then the next year I came, I had Gail Hunter actually, her niece, I think she was, I hired her to work with me, which made it a lot less exhausting.
So tell us about what you do, what your business is, and how your business came to be.
Okay, so I got into essential oils and just dove in, did the aromatherapy coaching, the raindrop. But I had a really hard time pulling people's minds away from the medical model. That I felt like I would go down this rabbit hole of like, what's the dose? And what I really wanted was for people to just play with their oils and open them and use them. So my friend Melissa and I were out in her field, and the idea came to us to do essential oil wisdom cards. So here's what the cover looks like. It's a bouquet of all the different plants that are represented in our deck. And the idea was to make it playful, easily accessible, to help people understand that the oils impact our whole being. So there's actually, they come with a little handy accordion card, and it's divided into 4 aspects, like suits, like a deck of cards. There's spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. And then, so you can just draw a card, shuffle your deck, draw a card, and then read it. It's all inspirational writing. That was funny. By the time we picked the oils, the writing came, it took like 7 or 8 months to get the structure of the deck and the oils that we were going to use. And then honestly, the writing just came to me in about 2 days. I was just texting and writing all this stuff down. It really came through spirit.
Yeah, you got it slow.
Yep. And so they're a wonderful offering for playful. A lot of my downline and upline, we use them to open meetings or gatherings, helps people determine some oils for their essential rewards. And it's just a really nice duplicatable way to share and have people playing with their oils.
Well, wonderful. And what did you contribute to the auction? You are always so generous.
5 decks. So hopefully 5 different people will get them. I think that's what usually happens.
Yes.
And then they'll get to start to play with them.
All
and
right.
I love it that you do the auction and support the students. I just think that's such a wonderful offshoot of this whole event.
Yes. Well, we just love the foundation. They're always saying, oh, we love what you guys do. I'm like, well, we're glad we can be a little tiny part of what you guys do. You are amazing. So
Yeah.
really love supporting that foundation. All righty. So tell us your name, your business name, and the category you're in.
My name is Abigail Southgate, and my business is just the cards. And so it's Gaia's Gifts Essential Oil Wisdom Cards. And I'm in games and cards. And it's funny because the first year I did this, we were the only cards. And now there's some really fun ones. So I encourage people to go look at the different categories.
All a little different, you know. It's just so neat to see, even though it's the same concept of cards, how different everybody's approach is to it and how it fills a different, niche.
Yep, I love that. So,
all right. Well, thanks for coming back and being with us, and thanks for being here this morning, Abigail.
Thank you. Well, hopefully we'll be in person next year.
Definitely. All righty. Well, let's do Jen O'Sullivan next. And
hello, good morning.
The human body and essential oils, that is Jen, and a million other things. So she's been in Young Living for a long time, and we're so excited to have her as one of our vendors. So how did you find out about AromaSharing, Jen?
I was a customer, so for a couple of years, and I think I'd never been to convention before. I started Young Living in 2007 and didn't come to a convention until I think 2015, something like that. And so I had gone to, I think it was the Texas one was my first one, and I heard about you after, and so I didn't go, and I was so bummed because I didn't know about it. So the next year when we were I think we were back in Utah at that point, that was my first one, and I actually joined it. So I think I joined on the first one and went to the first one, but I had heard about it the year before and wasn't there. So so really funny, but yeah.
Yeah, we still drive because I live in Fort Worth side of Dallas, Fort Worth, and we still drive by the hotel that we had that AromaSharing at in 2015. And my husband says, boy, we had a huge event. And that hotel said, we have never seen an event like this ever. So many people. And it was so hot because it
Yeah.
was August in Texas. Who thought so? And, you know, anyway, so yes, it is just, that was a crazy. You might have been glad you weren't there. Alrighty, so tell us what you do and what you're selling at AromaSharing and how did your business start?
Yeah, I am with 31 Oils. 31 Oils is a company that's like, basically, it's my husband's company and he like ships the books. I know that's kind of crazy. He came up with the name and everything, but that was my thing. Like I started writing books well before Young Living, but decided when I wanted to do the business of Young Living that my team needed a book that was not, we had a lot of other competition around here in Orange County. And my team needed something to give to somebody that would help them understand the difference between the two companies without mentioning a company. I think like everybody was so like uptight whenever a company was mentioned. So I wrote, this was my very first book, The Essential Oil Truth, The Facts Without the Hype. And it literally is like the facts without the hype. So it just, if you're a Young Living person and you read it, you see all the things that are what make Young Living amazing, but there's no mention of any company. So you could easily give it to one of your friends using a different company, and it's very helpful. And that was my goal just for my downline. And it sort of blew up from there. I had a couple RCD leaders get their hands on it and just say, can I please buy these for my team? And so it started there, and I didn't want to waste my time shipping, right? I want to focus on my customers, focus on educating what I do best. Like that's what I love to do. And so I had to ask my husband if he would consider like sitting in a warehouse all day shipping books. And he loves it. It's his absolute wheelhouse. And those of you guys who order from us know that he's ridiculous. He ships things perfectly. You will never get a dented book. He over wraps them and over protects them, and the taping job is like perfection. And I think, what's wrong with you, dude? Just ship it. But it's pretty funny that he's so generous. He loves to put little goodies in there for people when they buy from us. So of course we have Amazon, and that's where we started. But Tim has really, my husband has really taken it to a different level. So we have books and flyers, and I mean, we have a whole series of educational tools because that's what I do, is I educate. My background is in photography and design. So pretty much everything that we carry is designed by me. But they're just really pretty. I mean, we have an emotions card, a brand comparison chart, which this is probably one of our most popular. We have yeah, it's a good one. We have the new oil guide. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is, we added 33% more pages. It's basically a oil, like an oil class in a book. So you can go through and teach your people about everything that has to do with oils. It has like the top 40 usage guide in there. It has diffuser, like how to clean your diffuser, like troubleshooting tips for your diffuser, like everything that a newbie would want to know, all about carrier oils. It has tons and tons of recipes. It even goes into Ninja Red and Thieves. So this is pretty cool. And I want to share you with something that's brand new in this book. If those of you guys who've had this book before, this is new. And this has an allergen guide. And what I'm known for is getting you guys really complete lists. And it's been hard. It's been exceptionally hard to really nail down some of the things, like the fact that Super Bee is not vegan. Like, it's so weird. Like certain things that you would have to be like, wow, I never even knew that. Like, why? And why isn't it listed on the label? It's listed in here. So this has been years of digging and bugging product support. they probably like, oh, here comes Jenna Solo again with more questions. But yeah, so that's in there. We've got just so many cool resources. We have a new Progescence Plus flyer, which has testimonials and how to use it and why it's amazing. We have a card that has all of the Young Living enhancements, like all the new things. So if you want to send these out to all your new, your customers and brand partners to know like what's the difference. And we have a new loyalty rewards card, which has sample ideas of what to buy. I even included in here the facial reset. A lot of people were calling it something that is a little bit not good to call it that because of the, I think they call it a Botox something or other, but Botox is registered. So I just called it a facial reset, but a lot of you guys are using the CBD Beauty Boost with longevity. I put that in there as a potential bundle because that's an amazing, I think it's a really cool thing. And then everybody's into crystals. So we actually came out with crystals and oils. I worked with Ali on this and she's one of the other vendors here just to kind of give you guys the basics on what's safe to use with oils. So we have a lot of cards. I mean, I'm just touching on the basics, but they're all updated. And what I mean by that is all of them have the new language. All of them are ready to go for when the website changes over. So we're the only company that has a complete line, fully explaining every single thing that Young Living carries. Our new Vitality book is, I don't even have it in my hands because it was supposed to be here yesterday, but it hasn't arrived yet. That book is everything you want to know about Young Living in one book, and it has all the updated language. So it's pretty cool that we have everything ready to go before we're going.
Well, that is amazing. Thank you so much. And what did you contribute to the auction?
I'm doing an autographed copy of the new Vitality book, so that will come, and then one winner will get a Vitality Lifestyle Coaching Program. So that's an $800 value. We did that last year. It was really fun to be able to give one of those away. So it's a certification program called the VLC. And so if you wanted to check that out, it's on sale right now. And we're doing a year membership with Team Vitality. So combined, I think it's like a $1,200 value or something like that. For right now, it's only $240. So it's really, really inexpensive for a year. And that is something that we're giving away for free to one person.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Well, we just appreciate, I know that your name has been big in Young Living for all that you do, all the information you provide, all the classes. You are truly an educator, and we are so grateful to have you as a vendor. And tell us the name of your business and what category you're in.
Yeah, it's 31 oils. So the number 3 and the number 1. For me, that's Proverbs 31. But my husband named it, and he said it's because there's 3 of us, me, my husband, and my son, and only one of him. It's very simple-minded, right? But he's the one that works the company. So 31 oils, and a lot of people think that's like, what is it? 31, like 31 flavors. And then I'm in the product category of books, so you can check that out on AromaSharing.
Thank you so much, and thanks. Our people on the West Coast have to get up a little early to be ready for these.
Yeah, I had a dream this morning that I overslept, and I had to message you guys and be like, sorry, I didn't make it.
I've done that with when Gary was here in 1999 doing the 2000 doing a raindrop training. It's the raindrop training in Dallas, the one that CARE did use for a long time as their video. I had that same dream. Like I woke up, I was panicked, and my dream was like, oh my gosh, I got to get there. Anyway, so I understand now.
I actually believed my dream. Like I have such vivid dreams, and I believed it, and I went back to sleep. Luckily, I set 2 alarms because I'm not a morning person. And so the second alarm, I'm like, oh, wait, I missed it.
My dream's coming true. No.
Totally
Well, thank you, Jen, for getting up and being here with us. We sure appreciate it.
My pleasure.
So very much for being a vendor.
Thanks.
All righty. So let's go with our very last one today is Darlene de la Plata. Hi, Darlene. How are you?
I'm excellent. Good morning.
Good. So tell us how you found out about AromaSharing.
So I've been visiting AromaSharing during convention for a while, and I happen to know Sandy from one of the clandestine purchase things back in DC is where I met her at. And it's really funny how we got reacquainted. But anyway, I'm just super happy to be a part of it and very excited to help people understand what we do.
All righty. So tell us a little bit about your business, and you are part of a team
I
that
am
working on this. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I've had been working in energy medicine for about 35 years. And so I was super excited to come across a device that could actually make that simple for people. So the way I talk, it became a natural fit to work with the oils, because with the body, you automatically think about working on the density of the physical body. And then we understand through raindrop how we also drop through the energy field. So the oils really address both. They address the energy field and they address the physical density of the body. But that doesn't mean you don't use supplements, right? Supplements work on the physical density of the body. They work on particular ailments or situations that you want to support. And the way I look at the Healy, which is what we are using as a tool, the way I look at the Healy, it is an energy super supplement that when you take it, when you use it, it actually has the ability to become whatever you need in your body. So if you need emotional support, it supports you emotionally. If you have pain, it can support you with pain. And you don't have to do the heavy lifting, and you don't have to take hours and weeks of classes to figure out how to use it. It is very small. You clip it on, you put the app on your phone, and it goes and scans your energy field and sends you what you need. And I think it's a perfect complement to oils. You can actually upload frequencies of oils to your Healy. And so I like to think of it really as a super supplement. If you could swallow a pill that could become whatever you needed that day, to me, this is taking an energy supplement that can become whatever you need. So, there's a lot of us, we have a wish list. I'd like to go to acupuncture every week. I would like to have a massage every week. I'd like to have my chakras balanced every week. I'd like to see a nutritionist to keep me on point every week. There's a million things I would like to do. And that's just me. What about my entire family? Well, with the Healy, I can actually do all those things for myself, without having to spend hours away, and lots of money invested in that. I'm not saying don't use your practitioners. Definitely, we all love that. But, for realistically, how many can we see in a week? So.
Right. Excellent. And the thing I love about the Healy is I keep thinking, I remember Dr. or Gary Young saying, our oils will go in, and if we're acidic, they sacrifice themselves to make us more alkaline. And I just think of what could our oils do for us if our frequency wasn't low, if our, all the areas of our life had a higher frequency, what could our oils do for us? I mean, I think a whole new level of oil usage and results from the oils just by having our frequencies properly balanced and tuned into what they should be. So
yeah, if we didn't have to constantly be upgrading, we wake up in the morning, we're not human doings, we're human beings. And so we fall into 5 minutes of despair, or just if, something happens. But if we had something that was constantly helping us to keep our frequency high, then when we did take in the oils, just imagine they didn't have to go in and do the grunt work. They could help you soar so much faster. And so that's the way I look at it.
Definitely. Well, and what is in the auction for the Healy booth?
We are offering remote healings, remote sessions, I guess I should call it, with the device. And so that is the beauty of scalar energy technology. You have a unique energy fingerprint. And so for people who don't really understand energy, it's kind of like a snowflake or your thumbprint. You have a unique energy fingerprint, and the device can zero in on that and send you frequencies that you need, just as if you were there. So a remote session is just as valuable as if you were sitting right there with someone.
Right. And if you study frequency, quantum physics at all, and I remember the first time I learned this concept was in just listening to somebody talk about heart math or reading about heart math, is that energy, there's no time and there is no space.
Right.
So if I send loving thoughts to someone, they receive those immediately. It's like
It's like prayer.
instantaneous. Yes.
It's instant.
And so it's just an amazing thing. And do you have a coil?
My coil is not here yet, but I have ordered it. And when I was at the Healy Roadshow in Orlando last month, I got to use it for a few hours. You got to go back and give them your driver's license and try it for a little while, which was phenomenal. So, and I guess the best way I can explain that is the Healy works in two ways, right? You can use it with the wires for microcurrent, or you can use it without to in your bioenergetic field. And
right.
So
here's the wires, here's the wristbands and the wires. Right. And you sometimes still want to use those, but this is the coil. It's just a little flat thing. I'm hoping you can see it. I'm holding it in front of me.
Oh yeah, we can see it.
Okay. And then it just goes, it's just so great. It clips onto the back. So the things go right into where you would clip in your, and then it's just there. Then you can just wear it and you don't have to use the coils. So for our special for AromaSharing, we will give a coil, which is $225, to one lucky person that we'll draw from those who purchase from us by June 25th.
Absolutely.
So, all righty. Well, that ends our broadcast for today. I think Sandra is on with her meditation next. So thank you all vendors for being here. Everybody undo so everybody can see one last see of everybody. And thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you all. We wouldn't have AromaSharing without our vendors.
I want to add real quick, we're in two categories. We're in the apps and websites and in the techniques.
And we're under Healy. So, and there's a team of 4 of us. So there's myself and Sandra. That's kind of our side gig right now, because AromaSharing is our gig right now. And then we have Darlene and Lindsay Babbage. So, and come visit us in our Healy store. We try to be there most of the day.
I'll be there from 4 to 6 today in the Healy Zoom room. If anybody has questions about energy and would like to ask anything about that.
And 4 to 6 is Eastern
time. Yes, sorry about that. Eastern time.
And I'll be there from 11 to 1 Central. So that's the time that, anyways, so just.
So can I ask you a question? Who created the Healy?
It's German technology. It was created based off of the Time Waver, which is a very expensive energy device that they now made small, portable, and easy to use.
Yeah, it's Markus Schmieke from Germany was the inventor. All righty. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Love you all. And we're saying next year in person because I want to hug all your necks. And thank you so much for being our vendors. All right.
Thank you, Kathaleen, for facilitating this.
No problem. Thank you all.
Great job. I want to shop at everybody's store now.
Me too. I feel like buying the book. I feel like buying your cards. I feel like buying everything.
I know, I'm all excited.
Right.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.